the poll book is completely off.
Who was it called by? Oh my goodness, all the networks!
Dumps. They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
In the middle of an unhinged Twitter rant, Donald Trump, of course, complained about his electoral loss and threw out another wild conspiracy theory about Georgia's Republican Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and his brother? So here's what he said. I love the great state of Georgia, but the people who run it, from Governor Brian Kemp to the Secretary of State, are a complete disaster and don't have a clue, or worse. Nobody can be this stupid. Just allow us to find the crime and turn the state Republican. The consent decree signed by the secretary with the consent of Kemp is perhaps even more poorly negotiated than the deal that John Kerry made with Iran. Now it turns out that Brad Raffensperger's brother works for China, and they definitely don't want Trump. So disgusting, #MAGA. So in other words, Donald Trump, who can't accept the fact that he lost because he was ineffective and awful in his first term, has decided to blame Republican lawmakers who, by the way, have been loyalists to Donald Trump. It's just that they can't overturn the results of the election. They can't single-handedly dismantle our democratic process. They can't overturn the election just to make Donald Trump happy, right? And so he's aggressively going after them. And the latest conspiracy theory is that the Republican Secretary of State from Georgia has a brother who works in China, and China doesn't want Trump to get reelected. And then this ridiculous conspiracy theory was repeated on Newsmax. So here's Dick Morris.
But there's something else that I do need to talk to you about that's breaking news. You remember Brad Raffensperger, the Georgia Secretary of State, who has been standing in the way of recounts? His brother, Ron Raffensperger, is the Chief Technical Officer for Huawei's Enterprise Storage Solutions Company. And here you have the brother of the Secretary of State of Georgia, who works for them and lives in Sichuan, China.
Okay, so actually that exchange happened before Donald Trump's tweets. So Trump heard that insane conspiracy theory and then just repeated it on Twitter. He loves to take his cues from right-wing media. Now, later, Dick Morris was asked, do you have any evidence of that? And he said no, because there is no evidence of that. And of course, people looked into this, including Atlanta's local 11 Alive news. And here's what they found. The person, Ron Raffensperger, exists, but he is not Brad's brother. James O'Keefe is not my brother either. See how that works? So there's just a random person in China with that name, and they just assumed that, that's Raffensperger's brother, and he works in China, so obviously election fraud. End of story. He's closed.
Yeah. If it was his brother, it wouldn't mean anything. Even if it was, it wouldn't mean anything. And
no, it's true. It's so true.
I don't even know where to start. That tweet, the tweet, it's about 7 different things simultaneously. He really does. I'm surprised he didn't mention swine flu in there. His brain just comes up with a noun, he says something about it, and then he goes back. But anyway, he doesn't care that this guy's brother doesn't exist, or that he's not his brother. The tweet has been up almost the entire day. It was untrue when he posted it, but it has been pointed out to be untrue countless times since then. He doesn't care, so he's leaving it up. I don't know if he got it from Dick Morris or whatever. Apparently, this is a thing that's been bubbling up on the right for a few days now. None of them cared enough about this to actually look into whether these people are related, let alone why it would matter if they were, let alone why Republicans in Georgia would be conspiring with communist China to stop Trump from being president, let alone why they would go to all that work when losing Georgia wouldn't make Trump the president anyway, or winning Georgia wouldn't make him the president anyway. There are so many levels of this being so stupid and pointless. But perhaps the worst is sort of the theme of today. None of them are going to learn anything from this. Dick Morris isn't going to be more careful about his sources. Trump isn't going to be more careful about his tweets. None of the people who watched Dick Morris or read the tweet are going to be more careful about trusting what they hear from these individuals. You can just get things wrong and get things wrong and get things wrong, and it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't matter, because the people who consume that media are in that media bubble, and they don't, it's unlikely that they're going to see this video. It's unlikely that they're going to see content that debunks and disputes the nonsense coming from Donald Trump and all of his enablers. They just exist in this ecosystem that regurgitates whatever, narrative that's friendly to Donald Trump. And that's why, it's hard, but I try not to get too angry with Trump supporters, or if I am angry, what I'll do is try to contain it, because what are they watching? What do they have access to? They genuinely believe the things that they're hearing from Trump. They genuinely believe the things they're hearing from right-wing media, because again, that is what they're exposed to. And so I don't know. I know it's hard to persuade people, but also understand that we have this entire infrastructure in place that leads to the kinds of, that supports disinformation and leads to the types of divides that we're seeing among voters. And it's really, really frustrating, because how do you tackle that in a way that still maintains freedom of expression, right? And it's just a really tricky thing to do. But also, this is the real point that I want to make. Go ahead, show me my election night rundown again. Not rundown, my election night meltdown again. Show me my meltdown, please. Show me my meltdown.
Was it 2.5 months long, Anna?
Yeah, this is so embarrassing. If I were in some weird alternate universe, a Trump supporter, all of these things that have happened since election night would make me so embarrassed. I'd be like, I can't, I'm not part of any of that. I actually switched independent.
Bernie
how
had
do
done
you,
this stuff? How embarrassing
if
it would
anyone I support, if they had engaged in this, it's just so deeply embarrassing. It's so deeply embarrassing. So again, you want to share that election night meltdown video, have at it. But you got to answer about Dick Morris, about Donald Trump, Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani. I mean,
Lynn Wood.
Whoa. Lynn Wood. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, the meltdown will not stop.